If I had ignored that notification, my life would probably be normal right now. I know that sounds dramatic, but there's no other way to explain what happened. It started with a Telegram message from a user I didn't know. No profile picture. No bio. Just a username made of random letters and numbers. The message contained only one sentence. "You like mysteries, right? Watch this before it gets deleted." Attached was an invite link. At first, I thought it was spam. Maybe some fake crypto group, or another scam channel. I almost deleted it. But curiosity has always been my weakness. I was 23, working remotely from my apartment, spending most nights scrolling through forums, conspiracy threads, and unsolved cases. The internet had become my escape from reality. So instead of ignoring the message, I clicked the link. The channel loaded instantly. There were no descriptions. No welcome messages. No rules. Just a black icon and a title written in symbols I couldn't understand. The subscriber count showed nearly 18,000 members. That alone felt strange. Channel with that many people, but almost no activity visible from the outside. I scrolled through the posts. At first, they looked like random security camera clips. Empty streets. Parking garages. Hallways inside apartment buildings. The videos were short, usually less than a minute. No captions. No explanations. Nothing. But there was something unsettling about them. Every clip felt like it was waiting for something to happen. Like someone had pressed record, because they already knew something was coming. I watched a few before getting bored. Then I reached a video uploaded just 30 minutes earlier. The footage showed a convenience store at night. The cashier sat behind the counter looking exhausted. A customer walked in. The camera angle was from a shelf near the ceiling. Everything seemed normal until the customer pulled something from his jacket. The video ended before I could see what happened. Thousands of comments flooded underneath. Some were laughing. Others were placing bets. A few claimed they knew the location. One comment stood out. 3 minutes after this cut, the cashier was dead. I stared at the screen. My stomach tightened. It felt like someone had poured ice water down my back. Maybe it was fake. Maybe people were role-playing. The internet was full of weird communities pretending things were real. But then another user posted a news article link in the comments. The article reported an armed robbery and murder at a convenience store less than an hour earlier. Same cashier. Same clothing. Same store layout. My chest felt heavy. The channel had uploaded footage before the crime became public. I checked the timestamps repeatedly, hoping I was missing something. I wasn't. The video had appeared 42 minutes before local news reported the incident. I should have left right then. Any normal person would have. Instead, I kept scrolling. Every new post made the situation worse. There was footage of a parking garage where a woman walked toward her car. The video ended with her looking over her shoulder. Hours later, members discussed her disappearance like it was entertainment. Another clip showed a man jogging through a park at sunrise. People in the comments guessed how long it would take before police found him. Some comments disappeared minutes later, as if moderators were cleaning evidence. The deeper I looked, the more impossible everything became. These weren't old videos being reposted. They were happening in real time. The uploads always appeared shortly before crimes, accidents, or disappearances entered the news cycle. It was like someone knew the future. Around 2 in the morning, I finally closed the app. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every explanation sounded ridiculous. Maybe criminals were uploading footage themselves. Maybe insiders leaked information. Maybe it was an elaborate network of people tracking incidents before they became public. None of it made sense. Before sleeping, I checked the channel one last time. A new video had appeared. This one lasted only 14 seconds. A narrow apartment hallway stretched ahead beneath flickering lights. At the end of the hall was a red door. The camera slowly zoomed toward it before cutting to black. No comments. No explanation. Nothing. For some reason, the clip bothered me more than all the others. Maybe because nothing happened. Maybe because it felt personal. I went to bed uneasy. The next morning, I woke up to hundreds of new comments under the hallway video. My heart sank as I read them. This one's tonight. Third floor. Can't believe they finally found him. The red door gives it away. I had no idea what they were talking about. Then someone posted a local news report. A man had been found murdered in an apartment building overnight. The article included a photo of the hallway. The same hallway. The same red door. My hands started shaking. I closed my laptop and paced around the apartment. This wasn't some creepy internet mystery anymore. Real people were dying. Yet thousands of members watched it happen like a television show. I considered reporting the channel. But report it for what? Suspicious videos? Telegram would never act on a vague accusation. I needed proof. Actual proof. So that evening, I decided to document everything. Screenshots. Screen recordings. Timestamps. Usernames. Every detail I could collect. I created a folder on my desktop and started saving evidence. Around midnight, another upload appeared. I clicked it immediately. The video opened to a grainy security camera feed inside a subway station. Commuters moved through the frame. Nothing unusual. Then the camera zoomed toward a young man standing alone near the platform edge. The footage paused. White text appeared for the first time on any video. Only 3 words. Watch him carefully. My pulse quickened. Thousands of comments began flooding in within seconds. I kept refreshing. The number climbed faster than I'd ever seen. Hundreds. Then thousands. People seemed excited. Anticipating something. Waiting. Suddenly a new message appeared from the channel owner. It wasn't a video. It was a poll. One simple question. How many minutes? Beneath it were 4 options. 5. 10. 15. 20. My mouth went dry. Something was about to happen. And for the first time since joining the channel, a private message appeared in my inbox from the anonymous account that had invited me. It contained only one sentence. Thon, just watch this one. The second message contained a screenshot. At first glance, it looked ordinary. Just a frame from the subway station video. Then I noticed the red circle drawn around a figure standing near one of the ticket machines. My breathing stopped. The circled person was me. I zoomed in, hoping I was imagining it. I wasn't. The gray hoodie, the backpack, even the scratch on the side of my shoe, it was all there. The photo had been taken 3 days earlier during my commute downtown. My hands began trembling so badly I almost dropped my phone. Before I could process what I was seeing, another message arrived. You finally noticed. I stared at the screen. Every instinct told me to delete Telegram immediately. Instead, I typed back. Who are you? The message showed as read almost instantly. 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Finally a reply arrived. Someone who wants to help. I waited for more. Nothing came. The channel meanwhile had become chaos. Thousands of members were commenting under the subway video. Some guessed what would happen. Others argued about locations. A few users posted cryptic numbers that seemed meaningless. Then exactly 7 minutes after the poll began, the live comment feed suddenly exploded. Messages poured in faster than I could read them. My phone buzzed non-stop. Then someone dropped a breaking news link. A man had fallen onto the tracks at a subway station. Witnesses reported seeing him pushed moments before a train arrived. I felt sick. The young man from the video. The one the camera had zoomed in on. It had happened exactly as everyone expected. As if they already knew. I shut my laptop and paced around the room. None of this made sense anymore. How had they gotten a picture of me? Why invite me specifically? And why warn me? My thoughts spiraled until dawn. I barely slept. The next day, I decided to go to the police. It sounded ridiculous even in my own head. Hello officer, I found a Telegram channel that predicts crimes. They would think I was insane. Still, I gathered everything I had collected. Screenshots. Videos. News reports. Timestamps. Hours later I sat across from a detective in a small office. He listened politely at first. But the longer I explained, the more skeptical he looked. When I showed him the screenshot containing my image, his expression changed slightly. You sure this isn't edited? He asked. I am sure. He examined it closely. Do you know anyone who might be messing with you? I shook my head. After another 20 minutes he promised they would look into it, though I could tell he didn't believe most of what I said. As I left the station, my phone vibrated. Another message from the anonymous account. Bad move. I froze on the sidewalk. Then another arrived. They can't stop it. For the first time, genuine fear settled into my chest. Not the excitement of a mystery. Not curiosity. Real fear. Whoever ran that account knew where I had been. The police visit hadn't been public. Yet somehow they knew. That night I stayed home. Every curtain closed. Every door locked. I kept checking outside my apartment window. Nobody seemed suspicious. No parked vehicles. No strangers watching the building. Around 11, a notification appeared. A new upload. Against my better judgment, I opened it. The video showed a residential street under yellow streetlights. Rain fell steadily across the lens. The camera moved slowly as if someone was walking. The quality was poor, but the surroundings looked strangely familiar. My stomach tightened. I recognized the convenience store on the corner. Then the pharmacy. Then the row of apartment buildings. My blood ran cold. It was my neighborhood. The camera continued forward until it stopped across the street from a brick apartment complex. My apartment complex. The video ended. No explanation. No captions. Just blackness. Comments immediately exploded beneath the upload. Finally. Been waiting for this one. Can't believe they picked him. My vision blurred. Picked who? I refreshed repeatedly, hoping someone would explain. Then a new comment appeared from an account with no username. 3rd floor. Left side. That was where I lived. My heart slammed against my ribs. I rushed to the window and peeked through the curtain. Rain covered everything outside. Empty sidewalks. Empty parking spaces. Nobody there. Yet someone had clearly filmed my building. Someone close enough to know exactly which apartment was mine. I grabbed my phone and called the detective whose card I still had. Straight to voicemail. I left a frantic message explaining everything. Minutes later, another notification appeared. This time it wasn't from the channel. It was from the anonymous account. A single image. I opened it. The photo showed my apartment door, taken from only a few feet away. The timestamp in the corner revealed it had been captured less than 2 minutes earlier. I ran into the hallway and yanked the door open. The corridor was empty. Silence filled the building. No footsteps. No voices. Nothing. Yet someone had been standing there moments ago. I checked both stairwells. Nothing. When I returned inside, another message waited. You running out of time. My fingers hovered above the keyboard. What do you want? I typed. The reply came instantly. To keep you alive. I stared at the words. For several seconds I couldn't move. Then another message followed. The channel ISN, predicting crimes. Pause. Another message. It's choosing them. My chest tightened. Suddenly dozens of details clicked together. The polls. The excitement. The countdowns. The comments treating victims like contestants. This wasn't an audience watching events unfold. Somehow they were participating. Maybe voting. Maybe influencing outcomes. Maybe something even worse. I wanted to dismiss the idea as impossible. But nothing about this situation was normal anymore. Then the anonymous user sent a final message. It contained an address across town and a time. 凌晨2:15. Beneath it were 6 words. Come alone if you want answers. I should have ignored it. Every horror story begins with someone making exactly that mistake. Yet deep down, I knew I was already trapped inside this nightmare. If I stayed home, I might become the next video. If I went, maybe I'd finally learn who was behind everything. At exactly 2:00, with rain still hammering the city outside, I grabbed my keys and headed toward the address. 20 minutes later I arrived at an abandoned warehouse near the river. Most of the windows were boarded shut. The building looked deserted. As I stepped closer, I noticed something strange. A faint glow leaked from beneath one of the metal doors. The sound was impossible to describe. Hundreds of phones vibrating together created a low mechanical hum that echoed through the warehouse walls like a swarm of insects. I stood frozen in the rain, staring at the faint light beneath the metal door. Every instinct screamed at me to leave. Turn around. Get back in the car. Forget everything. But I had come too far. My apartment had been filmed. My movements were being tracked. Someone claimed they were trying to keep me alive. I needed answers. Taking a deep breath, I pushed against the door. It opened with a rusty groan. The scene inside looked like something from a nightmare. Long folding tables stretched across the warehouse floor. Hundreds of phones were arranged in rows, each mounted on small stands. Every screen displayed the same telegram channel. Notifications flashed continuously. New comments. New votes. New uploads. The vibration I had heard came from all of them triggering at once. Yet there was nobody there. No operators. No audience. Just empty chairs and glowing screens. Rainwater dripped from my jacket as I stepped deeper into the room. The air smelled like dust and overheated electronics. At the far end of the warehouse stood a giant projection screen. A live feed was playing across it. My heart nearly stopped when I recognized the location. It was my apartment building. Specifically, the hallway outside my door. The camera angle looked identical to the photograph I had received earlier. Someone was watching my apartment in real time. Before I could react, a voice spoke behind me. You actually came. I spun around. A woman stood near one of the support columns. She looked exhausted. Mid-30s maybe. Dark circles beneath her eyes. A hood pulled over her head. She held a phone tightly in one hand. Who are you? I asked. She ignored the question. You shouldn't have joined the channel. Then why invite me? Her expression tightened. For several seconds she said nothing. Then she sighed. Because once they notice someone, there are only two possibilities. You either become a viewer, or you become content. The words sent chills through me. What is this place? I asked. She glanced around the warehouse. An archive. One of many. One of many? There are others. My pulse quickened. Who runs them? She laughed bitterly. That's the problem. Nobody knows anymore. I stared at her. What does that mean? The woman walked toward one of the tables and picked up a phone. Years ago this started as a private network. Wealthy people. Criminals. Voyeurs. They paid for access to surveillance feeds. At first it was just illegal footage. Then people started influencing events. Information became entertainment. Entertainment became competition. She looked directly at me. Eventually the audience wanted more. I didn't like where this was going. More what? Control. Silence filled the warehouse. The screens continued flickering around us. She placed the phone back down carefully. The channel evolved. Members stopped merely watching. They began voting. Suggesting targets. Tracking routines. Sharing locations. My stomach turned. You're saying they choose victims? Not directly. Not always. Think of it like a game. Thousands of people pushing events in a certain direction until someone finally acts. She pointed toward the projection screen. The channel doesn't predict crimes. It creates conditions for them. The realization hit me like a punch to the chest. Every poll. Every countdown. Every comment section. The viewers weren't spectators. They were participants. Tiny actions from thousands of strangers combining into something horrifying. Before I could respond, every phone in the warehouse vibrated simultaneously. The noise exploded through the room. The woman cursed under her breath and checked her screen. Her face immediately lost color. No, she whispered. What? I asked. She showed me the display. A new upload had appeared. The video quality was crystal clear. The camera pointed toward the warehouse entrance. Rain poured outside. Then the angle shifted slightly and captured me walking through the door moments earlier. My blood froze. Someone had filmed my arrival. Comments flooded underneath. Tens of thousands of them. More than I'd ever seen before. Some users posted my name. Others posted photographs taken from my social media accounts. A few shared my address. My workplace. Places I visited regularly. The channel wasn't just watching me anymore. It was studying me. How many members are there? I asked quietly. The woman looked sick. Nobody knows. The visible number is fake. I swallowed hard. Then how many? Last estimate was over 200,000 active users. My knees nearly gave out. 200,000 people. Watching. Voting. Tracking. Discussing lives like episodes in a series. Another vibration interrupted us. The woman checked her phone again. Then another notification arrived. Then another. Her breathing became uneven. What's happening? I demanded. She looked at me with genuine fear. They've opened a vote. My chest tightened. What vote? She turned the screen toward me. A poll had appeared beneath the warehouse video. One simple question. Should he learn the truth? Beneath it were two options. Yes. And no. Thousands of votes were pouring in every second. The numbers climbed so fast they blurred. I watched helplessly as the totals skyrocketed. The woman grabbed my arm. We have to leave. Why? Because if NO wins, they'll silence you. My mouth went dry. And if yes wins? She hesitated. Then they'll show you something worse. Before I could ask what she meant, every screen in the warehouse suddenly changed. The telegram channel vanished. A single live video replaced it. The feed showed a dark room illuminated by one hanging bulb. A man sat tied to a chair. A black hood covered his head. The image quality was perfect. Too perfect. Comments exploded faster than ever. The vote disappeared. A countdown timer appeared instead. 10 minutes. 9 minutes and 59 seconds. 9 minutes and 58 seconds. I felt my heart hammering inside my chest. Who is that? I asked. The woman didn't answer. She simply stared at the screen. Who is it? I repeated. Her eyes filled with dread. The last person who tried exposing the channel. The countdown continued ticking lower. Suddenly the hooded man began struggling against the ropes. Muffled screams echoed through the speakers. Thousands of viewers reacted instantly. Emojis flooded the feed. Bets appeared. Predictions. Excitement. It looked less like a crime and more like a sporting event. Then something appeared in the corner of the room visible behind the prisoner. A whiteboard. At first I barely noticed it. Then I saw the writing. My blood turned to ice. There were photographs pinned across the board. Dozens of them. Every single photo was of me. And standing just outside the camera frame, a shadow slowly stepped into view. The shadow moved slowly into the camera's view, and every muscle in my body locked in place. The warehouse suddenly felt colder. Around me, hundreds of screens reflected the same horrifying image, while thousands of comments flooded past faster than anyone could read. The figure wore a black coat and a featureless white mask. No eyes. No mouth. Just a blank face staring toward the hooded prisoner. For several seconds nobody moved. Then the masked person reached toward the whiteboard and pulled one of the photographs free. Even from across the warehouse, I recognized it instantly. It was a picture of me leaving my apartment building 2 weeks earlier. The timestamp had been printed in the corner. The woman beside me whispered something under her breath that sounded like a prayer. Who is that? I asked. My voice barely worked. She never looked away from the screen. Nobody knows. That's impossible. People have been trying to find that person for years. The countdown continued. 7 minutes remaining. The masked figure held the photograph toward the camera for the viewers to see. Thousands of reactions exploded beneath the feed. Then the figure slowly turned toward the prisoner and taped my picture directly onto the front of his shirt. My stomach twisted violently. I didn't understand what I was looking at, but I knew it wasn't good. The woman suddenly grabbed my arm. We're leaving. Now. What about him? I asked, pointing toward the screen. Her expression hardened. If he's here, then we're already too late. Before I could argue, every phone in the warehouse vibrated again. The comments vanished. A new message appeared across every screen. Welcome, observer. The words were addressed to me. My pulse hammered in my ears. Then another line appeared. You have been watching for days. The screens changed again. A montage of footage began playing. Me walking to work. Me entering grocery stores. Me sitting in cafes. Me sleeping on my couch through my apartment window. Hundreds of clips. Hundreds of moments I never knew had been recorded. My chest tightened until it hurt. The channel hadn't started tracking me after I joined. They had been tracking me before the invitation ever arrived. The anonymous message. The subway photograph. Everything had been planned. Then the final line appeared. Now it is your turn to choose. Hole replaced the footage. This one contained only two options. Leave. Stay. Votes flooded in instantly. Tens of thousands every second. I stared at the numbers climbing higher and higher. The woman looked horrified. What does that mean? I asked. She swallowed hard. Nobody ever gets this poll. How do you know? Because nobody reaches this stage. The vote continued for nearly 30 seconds. Then the results locked. Stay had won by a huge margin. My blood ran cold. The warehouse lights suddenly shut off. Complete darkness swallowed the room. Several phones crashed onto the floor. Somewhere nearby, a metal door slammed. I heard movement all around us. Not one person. Multiple people. Footsteps. Slow and deliberate. The woman grabbed my wrist and pulled me forward. Run. We sprinted through the darkness. The only illumination came from scattered phone screens across the warehouse floor. Behind us, footsteps multiplied. The sound echoed from every direction. Whoever had entered the building wasn't rushing. They were walking. Calmly. Confidently. As if they already knew exactly where we were going. We reached a side exit and burst into the rain. Cold air hit my face. We ran toward the riverbank without speaking. The warehouse disappeared behind us through the storm. For nearly 10 minutes neither of us stopped. Finally we ducked beneath an abandoned overpass. Both of us were breathing hard. I pulled out my phone. No signal. Telegram wouldn't load. Nothing worked. The woman looked strangely relieved. Maybe we're out. Out of what? I asked. She hesitated. Then she finally told me the truth. 3 years earlier, she had worked for a cybersecurity company contracted to investigate unusual online communities. Her team discovered fragments of the Telegram network. At first they believed it was an organized crime forum. Then they realized something far stranger was happening. The channel wasn't controlled by one person. It wasn't even controlled by a group. Thousands of users constantly replaced one another. Moderators disappeared. New ones appeared. Servers moved. Ownership changed. Yet the system continued operating perfectly. Like a machine, she said quietly. Nobody controls it anymore. People only feed it. I stared at her. Rainwater dripped from the edge of the overpass. That's impossible. I know. She looked exhausted. But every person who joins contributes something. Information. Footage. Locations. Habits. Eventually the network becomes smarter. Larger. Better at finding people. A horrible realization formed in my mind. Then why was I chosen? Her eyes met mine. For the first time, genuine sympathy appeared on her face. You weren't chosen. My stomach dropped. What? You volunteered. I felt dizzy. How? Every unsolved case you researched. Every mystery forum you joined. Every video you watched. Every public post. Every location tag. She looked away. The network profiles people who can't look away. Silence settled between us. Deep down, I knew she was right. Curiosity had brought me there. Curiosity had kept me watching. Then her phone vibrated. Once. We both froze. Signal had returned. Slowly, she looked at the screen. The color drained from her face. What is it? I asked. She handed me the phone. A single notification filled the display. The Telegram channel was active again. The newest upload had appeared only seconds earlier. With shaking hands, I opened it. The video showed an abandoned overpass during a rainstorm. Two figures stood beneath it. One was me. The other was the woman. The footage was live. Someone was watching us right now. Comments poured beneath the stream. Thousands of them. Then a poll appeared. Who should disappear first? I felt my heart stop. Votes began flooding in immediately. The woman stepped backward in horror. The numbers climbed faster and faster. Then suddenly every comment vanished. Every vote vanished. The stream froze. A final message appeared across the screen. Thank you for participating. The video ended. For several seconds neither of us moved. Then a new notification arrived from the anonymous account. The last message I would ever receive. It contained only one sentence. I still remember every word. Close Telegram.